Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're just stopping by, you're most definitely welcome. I am excited to be back again with another video, and this video would buttress on the importance between a data scientist as well as a data analyst. I actually had this same misconception when I was starting off as a career, and if you've probably when I started off my career as a data analyst, and if you've not watched the video, you should go and watch it right now, because in there I actually went in depth as to how I started. And one thing you would find out is that I actually started learning courses, taking tutorials on courses in the path of data scientist, but then eventually landed a job as a data analyst. So you know this video that goes,
I take the ball, I bounce it, I shoot, I miss it.
I took the ball, I bounced it, I shoot, and I missed. So that's pretty much my story. I actually prepared all the while for a role as data scientist, but I landed a role as a data analyst, and that's because of so many factors at the time. So I actually did have a data science internship role, but it wasn't juicy as compared to that of the data analyst offer I got. So I actually went to the path of data analyst, and since then I've continued my career as a data analyst. So yeah, when I actually started through this path, I actually used to think that the difference between a data scientist and a data analyst was pretty much the tools they used. But I mean, with the most recent time, I've come to learn that it actually transcends beyond that, right? So one thing to understand is that the data analyst as well as the data scientist actually work together. And here in this video, I'm talking about the roles, the different roles they do or they play a part in different industries, as well as the skills that data analysts and data scientists actually have, right? And also in terms of how it's actually relevant even in today's day and age. So for those who are looking to look for a career in the field of a data analyst or a data scientist, based on this video, you're able to probably have some clarification as to which one best suits for your personal interest. So to start, we're going to talk about the skills needed for the role of a data scientist. Now, for the role of a data analyst, I've already shot a video in my YouTube channel about the relevant skills even needed as a data analyst. So if you want to understand the skills needed, you should go and watch it. I'll put it probably one of the link up above, or even in my description as well. So now going into the skills needed for the role of a data scientist, one important skill needed is data gathering, data cleaning, statistics, use of programming language like either Python or R, which is also important in the field of data analytics. Also machine learning, linear regression, random forest, k-means, all those amazing algorithms, as well as a very good communication skills, right? Now for the role of the data scientist, what you should understand is that they actually deal with advanced techniques, right? And they make predictions using these techniques. So what this means is that they use structured and unstructured data to literally automate machine learning algorithms. So most time this role is generally considered more advanced, more like an advanced version of data analyst, and this is what I think I agree on. So that's why I'm more biased towards, for anyone starting out, especially probably just start out as a data analyst, so it's easier for you to transition into a data scientist. So to better explain this further for the role of a data scientist, I'm going to use an example of Uber, right? So for example, as a customer, in order to request a ride, all you just need to do is to open the app, and then you set the pickup location and the drop-off location, and Uber will literally match you to the closest ride or car available at your pickup location. However, behind the scene, there's a lot of big data being used for making these intelligent decisions, right? So Uber collects data from every single GPS point for every trip taken on Uber. So what this means is that let me now tie it down to even the role of a data scientist. So a day-to-day role in a data scientist means you invented the way transportation works. So this is by matching cars to people and people to places. So using algorithms that direct the car to people and people to places. So in this context, I actually do believe that timing is very important because of the different data that I've been gathered at different drop-off location. Also, in terms of the fees to be paid per ride or per trips, right? So Uber actually uses its own algorithm to actually calculate these fares based on internal and external data. And now one of many factors that do affect the decision is the GPS data. right? The street traffic data as well too, as well as also its own algorithms based on the time or journey. So in other words, data scientists build infrastructure, testing, and also machine learning models for decision making as well as data production. So they actually do work with advanced techniques as compared to data analysts. Now, for the role of a data analyst, I'll be speaking from my own point of view, right, as a data analyst. So we are literally tasked with understanding data pipelines used in moving data from its source to its destination. So the destination could be a data warehouse. Another thing that we actually do on a day-to-day is actually tasked with using statistical tools. So what this means is we try to interpret and also analyze the data that is available, right? So we also create reports by visualizing these reports in order to communicate the trends as well as the patterns and predictions, right, based on data available. And now a typical workflow for a data analyst literally entails the following, right? So first off, we literally have to understand the business requirements needed for the task we have at hand, right? Then again, asking questions, I mean, not just questions, but the right questions, because usually going back and forth to ensure that you understand what stakeholders need, right, for the project as relates to data that we gather. Then also, if the data is not available, either I or the analytical engineer at the time or whoever would help in pulling out this data from its source, and in my case from the source actually to Snowflake, right, for data querying or whatever data warehouse you do use. Then also, if the data is dirty, you're responsible for cleaning it as well too, right, and also preparing the data to also visualize it, probably using charts, graphs, filters based on stakeholder requests. And I'm glad to work in a company where we actually do use Google Looker, which is hosted on the cloud. So what that means is I am no more dealing with having to install Power BI in my system. It's been like a shift in technology for me in my career stage as a data analyst. And I'm glad to say that I am gradually getting the hang of Google Looker. So yeah, we're going to talk about the tools used in the role of data scientists, right, and as well as the language they use, the type of language they use. So they are more tilted into using object-oriented programming language, so they call it OOP, and also with tools such as Hadoop, Spark, TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is actually used for building machine learning models, and I believe that many of the data scientist skills, let me just tell you, they actually build off from data analysts. So that's why I think it's good to actually start from a data analyst, then transition to data science, like I earlier mentioned. They also use advanced statistics, right? So I remember when I started learning data scientists in quotes, I actually learned statistics on Udacity, and that's what course I believe every person should actually take. I did write about it in my Medium article, and I'll put it in the description below, right? It's a very, very good foundational statistics course, right? Then for the role of the data analyst, they are more tilted towards making sense or deriving insight from the data available. And one important language that they use is SQL. SQL. I actually grew up knowing how to call it SQL, so I'm used to calling it SQL, right? So SQL is used to actually query database, whether a database is on premises or whether it's in the cloud. So there are different service providers that offer database storage on the cloud, such as Google, AWS, and Microsoft. And SQL, as well as other tech stack or other tools or programming language like Python and R, and also in terms of the visualization software like Power BI or Google Looker or Tableau. Any of these visualization tools are tools that we also use to also analyze the data that we do have in our database. Like in terms of the job role or the jobs available in the space of data analytics as well as data scientists, I'm going to put that of data analyst in here, and I really hope you're able to see for the role of data analyst. Most times, I mean, for most roles, frankly speaking, I would tell you that you don't really need a degree for them, right? So for the role of but I mean, you don't really need a degree. I mean, you don't need a computer science degree to embark in this space, whether data analytics or data scientists, right? So for role of data analytics, I'm going to put it in here, as well as role of a data scientist, also going to put it in here, so for you to look and also compare to have an idea on what to build on in terms of the requirements needed for each of these unique roles. So the big question is, data scientist still the sexiest job of the 21st century? Anyway, so data analysts and data scientists, actually they represent two of the most in-demand high-paying jobs in 2021. right? Well, that's as of last year, right? And also in the World Economic Forum Future of the Jobs report, right? In 2020, so they actually listed these two roles as number one in terms of increasing demands across different industries, which actually does make sense, right? Which then followed by AI, as well as machine learning, as well as big data specialists too, right? And now these roles are growing in demand, right? Including data analysts, data scientists, AI, machine learning specialists, robotics engineers. I'm gonna put a link to it to get for you to understand where I got this data from, right? To show how the increased demand of these roles. But then again, one thing to also know is that this shows us the job landscape for these roles, right, in this current century. And one thing we can see is that we see a growing demand for the job, right? And by 2025 you would see that there's a high increase of these job roles. And one thing I would just love to correct is that you really do not need a degree in computer science for this. You do not need to. I really want to correct this notion that having a degree in computer science doesn't automatically give you more advantage to those without a computer science degree. I can say that for a fact. Though I'm glad I did have a computer science degree, but that was not even an edge, frankly speaking, right? So now in conclusion, a data analyst role is better suited for those who want to actually start their career in data analytics, whereas a data scientist role is recommended for those who want to create advanced machine learning models, face recognition, and also use deep learning to also ease human tasks. So thank you so much guys for actually watching. I really hope that you learned about two things, and this probably helps you understand the difference between a data analyst and a data scientist. I really hope I was able to clear some doubt as to even the tools and technologies being used, as well as the day-to-day role of a data scientist, right? Please ensure to click the like button. This helps me a lot as a growing YouTuber. Ensure to click the like button. Also, please subscribe, as well as share to those who are looking to start off a career in data analytics, right? Have a very good and productive day ahead. Bye guys.